Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. If we have never met before, which a lot of you probably haven't because this is my first class on YouTube, hello, my name is Jordan and I am, just a brief little intro about me. I am a 500-hour advanced yoga teacher. I have been teaching yoga for a little bit over 2 years now, and I am also someone who loves to get tattooed. As you can probably see, I've been getting tattooed since my 18th birthday. Something I've noticed in my few years being a yoga teacher and getting tattooed is that there's not a lot of resources out there for tattoo artists, even though it's a group of people who, spend a lot of time in some pretty tense positions, right? Like holding the needle and the tattoo gun, leaning forward. Some tattoo artists, for some of the work I've had to get done, I've had to be in some pretty weird body positions for a long time to, make this amazing art that I have now. So I started chatting with some of my regular tattoo artists that I see about, areas of the body that might have a little extra ache or pain after a long day of work, things they need, maybe places that might need a little bit more strength, stability, places that need some stretch, and then using some of my own knowledge about anatomy and just observing how tattoo artists are sitting, I started thinking about, what are some of the opposite motions of that? A lot of yoga is countering what we do in our regular day-to-day life to give our body, a little bit of an opposite, maybe stretch than what it's used to. So this series is going to be very focused on wrist, just general joint care, right? Especially the wrists, the hands, the forearms, the elbows, and the shoulders and the chest. We're going to focus on some front body opening. So because a lot of tattoo artists are sitting hunched forward a lot of the day, we're going to focus on kind of opening the chest up. We'll get some hip flexor stretching, some quad stretching, so really opening this whole front body, as well as building some strength in the back body so that it can support us and hold us up for a long time. Obviously, we'll get a little stretching everywhere, some spinal flossing, some twisting, side to side. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So this first class today, I'm hoping to keep it right around 20 minutes, and we're gonna get a few of the basic movements in that we will be working with during this series. So my goal for this class is that it moves a little bit slower and that you just kind of learn some of the shapes that we'll be doing so that when we add them in to more flows or, we add on to them, your body kind of knows where we're going. All that being said, what you will need today, if you have them, yoga blocks are really great. They've changed my practice because they can bring the ground so much closer to us. So these are something that if you are going to keep practicing, I would definitely recommend investing in 1 or 2 of these. If you don't have them today, that's totally fine. I would just get some thick hardcover books that you can press down into the ground and hold onto your hands to kind of lift the ground away from you. So 2 hardcover books. And then a strap. We're going to be doing some shoulder flossing today, going up and down. So if you have a hard strap that won't, I have this one to show you that's stretchy, and this is fine too, but this is going to let us open our arms out a little bit more. So if you want to keep them in and get that shoulder stretch, a strap like this is actually meant for carrying a yoga mat. So if you have one of these or a belt, or you can use something like, I have this long towel here that you can just kind of hold into a line, a towel like this, or a scarf, a pair of pants, just something that you can get a nice wide grip on and floss through the shoulders when we get there. If you have a mat, that's great. Otherwise, you can just do this on some soft floor. And then the last thing, I am on hardwood, so I always like to have a blanket just to sit on and for under my knees when we get there. So gather all the things you need, and when you are ready, come join me on the mat. All right, so we are going to start seated today. So find a comfortable seated position close to the ground. If that means you're sitting on a stool, that's fine. You can sit on a blanket. I like to do that to lift my hips a little bit. If you have a pillow or something, just find a comfortable seat. You can have the legs out straight if that feels better for you. You can sit back on your knees. Just find something that feels good. Bring your hands somewhere onto your body. Close your eyes. We're just going to take a moment to center ourselves before we start this practice. As you're ready, find a nice big inhale. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more times. If you didn't already, I want you to exhale with a sound. So make some sort of sighing or noise. Inhale. Exhale it out. 1 more time. Release into a nice big sigh. Inhale. Exhale out with a sound. You're at home by yourself. It doesn't matter. Let it out. Nice. You can open your eyes. Bring your hands together so you're holding hands with yourself, and just find a little wrist roll. So rolling your fist one way. Pause. Go the other way. I don't really care what the rest of your body's doing. Notice where there might be some creaks or some sticky spots that feel a little crusty as you go by them. I am a handstander, so when I do this, I hear a lot of like creaking, maybe some roller coasters with your wrist. These are some great little stretches you can add in, in the middle of your workday. If you are feeling like a little tenseness through your hands, maybe open it out. Nice. All right, now we're gonna use our hands. I'll turn to the side so you can see, to gently get a little stretch through the top of our forearm. So you can grab your palm or your fingers and think about pulling your hand toward the thick skin side of your forearm. Opening up through this under part and going to the other side. Pull your hand in. Very nice. Now do it the opposite way. So grab the top of your hand, press in. Sometimes I get a little pop when I do this. Don't press anywhere where you're feeling any pain. Just getting a little stretch and opening in the front of your hand. Very nice. Get some little finger stretches. So going one at a time. Pull back the pinky, the middle, pointer. Just getting a little bit of movement and stretching in through the hands. These are great things that you can do every single day just to keep your wrist care up. Nice. All right, so we got into our hands. We're gonna do a little bit of strengthening now. So reach your arms out in front of you so your wrist comes straight out from your shoulder, and we're just gonna take some flashlights here. So close your hands into a little fist and open, close and open, close and open. Start to go a little bit faster. Nice big opening. Maybe you go a little bit faster. Working all the little mini stabilizer muscles in your hands and your fingers. Maybe going a little bit faster in your wrist. So much of, joint care we think of as stretching, which it is, but keep going, keep flicking, opening your hands. It's also building that strength so that our joints can stabilize us and keep us strong while we're working. Keep flicking for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoo! Try to resist the urge to shake out your hands. I know it's tempting. Maybe just do some slow rock side to side. That roller coaster again. Nice. Alrighty. From here, grab your hands onto your knees so you can have the legs bent, or you can be sitting. We're just gonna take a few cat-cows here, starting to get into the spine. So tuck your chin into your chest, round it out. So try to think about pushing your back and your spine towards the wall behind you. And now pull your heart through your biceps. So try to think about sternum comes forward, maybe your head goes back, getting a little extra stretch in the neck. Come back into your cat, rounding it out. Feel that pull on your hands and your wrist, getting a little extra, maybe tension in the front of the arms. And pull it up and through into cow. Go through this a few more times at your own pace. Breathing into your spine. If you want to add a little side to side motion, I really like to take this into like a barrel roll. So grabbing your knees, kind of roll to the side, tuck back, and bring it through. Keep going. Maybe go the other way. Nice. Alrighty, come to center. When you feel good, inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the mat. Left arm reaches up and over, side body stretch. Inhale up to the ceiling and over to the left. One more each side. Inhale it up to the left. Inhale it up and the other way. Come back to center. This time, bring your left hand to your right knee and reach your right arm behind you, coming into a twist. Right hand can plant on the ground or just reach towards the back wall. Inhale to center. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. Press into your right palm to get a little bit deeper twist. Inhale to center and over towards the right. One more on each side. Inhale to center. Over to the other side. Inhale back to center. We're gonna start doing these seated and then you will have the option to roll over to your knees. But I just wanna introduce what we're gonna be doing here. So you're going to shift the weight forward into your hands a little bit. Lift up your right thumb, so your right thumb's hovering off the mat, and then pull your right palm of your hand up and off the mat. So your palm is stacked over your finger joint, and then slowly, like you're squishing an orange underneath your palm, press your hand down to the mat. Nice job. Other side, lift the left thumb and lift your hand up so your wrist is over your finger joints. Slowly, like you're crushing an orange, press it down. Keep going with these side to side, lifting the thumb, coming up and pressing down. Left hand lifts up, press it down. Keep going side to side. Do a few more, just getting used to this movement. Alrighty, if this is enough for you, if this is enough weight into your hands, you can stay right here. If you feel pretty good, you can roll over onto your knees. Set your blanket up to bring your knees onto if it feels good. And then keep going with these. Lifting the thumb and then lifting the wrist. Obviously, the more you are shifted forward, the more your shoulders are over the wrist, the more weight there's going to be in your palms and the harder this is going to be. So if you ever need to, you can shift it back. It's going to take a little bit of the pressure out of your wrist. Do one more on each side. Nice. Alrighty, getting a little more wrist stretching. Flip your palms so that your hands face out, so a 90-degree turn. And just rock side to side a little bit here. Fingers point to the outside of your mat. Thin skin side of your forearm points in, and rock it side to side. Stay here or rotate your hands another 90 degrees so that your fingertips face your knees, and rock forward and back. I like to kind of shift the weight into my heels here to feel my palm lift up off the mat. Nice little stretch. Come back to center. If you want to do a few more cat-cows here, be my guest. Dropping your stomach towards the mat and pressing it away, rounding it out. Getting into that spine. Very nice. One more time. And come to sit back on your knees. Bring your hands to your rib cage so that the top of your hand, this side, is onto your ribs. And then start to press your hands into your ribs. Call this chicken. So I'll show you. You're like this. And think about pulling your elbows back. Just trying to give you lots of options here for some wrist stretches that you can do throughout your day. One more breath. Nice. Alrighty. From here, we are going to do that shoulder flossing. So I'm going to use my towel just to show you what it's like to not have a strap. So you're going to take it and bring your hands, the wider your hands are, the more space you'll have to do this. So start with your hands out pretty wide, definitely wider than shoulder width distance. Almost think like if you were going to do a push-up, how wide would you need your hands? Take them a little bit further than that. Pull on your towel so it's nice and firm here. You're gonna reach your arms up. If you get here and you're like, whoa, this is way too tight, just take your hands up further. No big deal. And if you get there and you're like, wow, my arms just fell over, then you need to bring your hands a little bit closer in. So find that sweet spot for you. You're gonna reach the arms up, over and back. Maybe they come all the way to your hips and bring it back forward. Coming all the way through this range of motion. Again, feel free to adjust your hands as it feels good. And just flossing through the shoulders here. Keep breathing. You can keep going front to back, or if it feels good, you can kind of stay in that spot where you get stuck and just breathe into your shoulders, into your chest, maybe reach side to side. Nice. Come on out of there. Bring your strap to the ground. Move your blanket off your mat and lower all the way down onto your belly. We call this Sphinx pose. Forearms down on the mat, feet reach long behind you. Think about pulling your heart through your biceps, opening up through your front body. Squeeze your butt so you can press your hips down, and then kick your right foot up into your glutes. Getting a little bit of length in the quad. Switch it out, left leg comes in, right leg goes long. And just take these a few times with your own breath, feeling that lengthening in the front of your hip flexors and your quads. So eventually we'll reach back and we'll grab our foot, but today, just seeing how far we can get with our own musculature and range of motion. One more each side. Come back into your Sphinx. Pull your heart through. And now look at your hands. See where your elbows are. Come down to the mat and bring your hands where your elbows were. Bring your knees down to the mat, tuck your toes, press down hard and into your hands. Your knees are gonna stay down. Lift up, knees down, plank. We'll strengthen the shoulders. Hold 3, 2, 1. Nice. Bring your knees in, step back and grab your either blocks or books. I'm gonna use my books today just so I can show those of you who don't have the blocks how you can use these. If you do have blocks, feel free to use those instead. So I like to put my book down like I was gonna put it in a bookshelf. Keep your left knee behind you. Step your right foot forward so we're coming into a little lunge. So these blocks or these books are just gonna bring the ground a little bit closer to you. Think about your back hip, so this left hip coming down towards the mat. So pull your right hip, the one that's in front, back, and your left hip forward and down. So like you're squeezing your left glute to press this hip down towards the mat. Obviously it's not gonna come down to the mat, but that's where we're looking to find some length. Breathe here. This might feel like a lot for you. You can always adjust your blocks or your books to come down a little bit lower. Just finding this low lunge. If it seems like a good idea, you can bring your books off to the side. Step your right foot out a little bit and bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. This is called runner's lunge. Again, if you're already feeling a lot, lift it up onto your blocks, stay where you are. But if you know you have a little bit more mobility, you can come down to this. One more breath. Awesome. Use your blocks or your books, press down into the ground, step the right foot back, and just switch it out. Left leg comes forward. Again, if you want that blanket under your knees, that can feel good here. Take a few moments, a few breaths to tug your front hip back, push your right hip down towards the mat or your back hip, whichever one is behind. Breathing into your back quad, your back hip flexor. Next week, or whenever you do class number 2. We're gonna put these lunges into a little flow, but today just getting the shape. Nice work. Again, if you want to put the blocks down, hands to the inside of your front foot and walk it out a little bit wider. That can feel nice. And come back onto your blocks or your books. 2, step your front foot back. Come to a seat on your heels. We are just going to come up into a stand. So however you'd like to do that today, we will learn a few yoga ways to get into a stand eventually, but for now, just however you want to, stand up. Move your books to the side. Come to a stand. Nice. Alrighty. In this stand, just wiggle it out. Shift the weight from one foot to the other. Maybe shake out your wrists. Bounce on your toes a little bit. Let yourself be loose. Come to a nice center. Hands to your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach your right arm towards the back while your left arm goes to the front. Your chest can open up towards the side, but I want your hips to stay facing forward so that this twist comes from our spine. So open up through the chest, think about pressing your hips forward, look towards the back hand, and then bring both hands down so they come to your sides. Open up the other way. So left arm reaches back, right arm reaches forward, look, and meet back in the middle. Nice, we're gonna go the other way. Left arm comes backwards, right arm reaches forward, look to the back wall, hands come to your hips, and switch. Right arm goes back, left arm reaches forward, look to the side, meet at the top, look to your hands, nice. Other side, one more time each way, right arm goes back, left arm forward, hands come down to your hips, right arm forward, left arm back, look, arms up to the sky. Last time, left arm back, right arm forward, hands come down to your hips, and around, look the other way, and meet in the center. Arms to your side, nice. I'm gonna do a little single leg balancing here, and then we'll be done. Alrighty, we're gonna do a little single leg balancing here. So, we're going to do a little bit of single leg balancing here. Shift the weight over into your left foot and just start to find a little bit of lightness in that right foot. So maybe you curl it in towards your butt, maybe you just hover it off the mat. Just find somewhere where you can find a little bit of balance in your left leg. Looking at an unmoving object can be helpful when balancing. Equal weight across your whole foot, so try to think about using your big toe, your heel, and your pinky toe equally. And now reach your right leg out in front of you just a little bit and take some ankle rolls. So roll out through that right foot. Nice, go the opposite way of whatever way you were going. Nice, and set the right foot down. That's all we're doing. Other side, shift the weight into your right foot, hover your left leg up off the mat. Extend it out long in front of you, maybe kick it to your butt, maybe it just hovers. Use your big toe, pinky, and heel evenly. Extend the leg out in front of you and just take some ankle rolls. If you need to, you can hold on to the wall or a chair. Go the other way. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. Both feet down on the ground. And from here, all we're gonna do is come back to a seat. So however you like to sit down, that is great. Alrighty, come into a wide straddle here. So take your legs out into a nice deep V. And just start to walk your hands forward. Maybe take a few. Just start to walk your hands forward a little bit. Stop when you're about halfway. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, maybe you fold your chest a little bit deeper. Maybe the hands go out further. Find your appropriate edge for today, where you're feeling a stretch in the back of the legs, maybe the low back, but not any sort of strain or pain. Maybe you walk your hands out further. Maybe you stay right where you are, wherever you're at, it's perfect. And walk your hands back to your hips. From here, keep your feet where they are and just bend your knees. So your knees come up off the ground, bent to about 90 degrees. Hands can come planted behind you for some support, and just start to drop your knees side to side. So knees go towards one way and then towards the other, flossing through the hips. You can keep the hands planted behind you, or you can find a little reach, so reaching the arms in front with you and then over towards the side, getting into the spine, or you can just have your hands in front of you and kind of move side to side. Just flossing into the hips a little bit here. Go one more each way. If you are moving like me, don't worry about it. And then go to one side, the side you started on, and just pause there. We're gonna get a little more technical here. So find your hip point on whatever leg is in front and try to make sure your knee is straight in front of that hip point. From there, check out your knee, make sure your ankle is right out so you're in a 90 degree. Same thing, look for your hip point, make sure your knee's straight out, and then your knee is underneath your ankle. Awesome. You can stay right here, you can stay lifted. You can use your blocks to kind of give you something to hold on to. You can bring your blocks in front of you. Maybe you start to fold forward a little bit. Maybe your hands come down on the mat. Getting a little external hip rotation. Again, if it feels good for you to fold forward all the way, be my guest, but never going anywhere where we're feeling pain. Nice. Come back to center, lift those knees up, and then just go to the other way. Again, check out your alignment. Front hip, is your knee straight out in front of it, and then the ankle up from the knee. Back hip, knee straight out, ankle from the knee. 90-90. So nice. Again, stay lifted or start to fold over your leg. You might be feeling a ton of sensation here, and you might be feeling nothing. Whatever it is, it's perfect. Last breath. Come back to center and just come into a comfortable seated position one more time, finishing our class where we started it today. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, opening up in the left side neck a little bit. Come back to center, left ear, left shoulder. Come back to center. Hands connect somewhere with your body. Close your eyes. 3 breaths, just like we started. Allow this exhale to make some noise. Let something go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale. Exhale, release. Thank you so much for joining me today for this first class. If you liked this, then please come back for some more. We're going to build on the things that we did today. We're going to learn some fun flows. We're going to learn some more ways to stretch our wrists and our hips and our body. And hopefully, yoga is not the cure-all for anything by any means, but it can provide us with some great ways to stretch our body, find some mobility, explore some new sensations. Please feel free to take any of these stretches that we did today, work them into your daily life somehow. Maybe you do some finger stretching before work or whatever it is. The more that you do these things, the more that you do this kind of mobility, the easier it will be, and your body will thank you for it. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time.